To that earlier story about the student protests at Wits University. Tonight, a fifth-year medical student who is at risk of financial exclusion is with us in studio, Mabu Molapo, to talk about some of the issues raised by the protesting students led by the Wits SRC. Mabu, a very good evening to you. Grateful for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Explain in your own words how you've been affected by the issues at Wits.
Okay, so I was supposed to start my fourth year actually this year. But because of my financial situation, I wasn't able to register. I haven't been able to find accommodation because I don't live very close to campus. So I've missed almost a month and a half, almost 2 months of school because I haven't been able to register.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you say your financial situation. To the extent to which you're comfortable, what is your financial situation?
My financial situation, I'm speaking mostly that both my parents are unemployed. So I have no means to pay my school fees. And some people will be like, no, look for extended relatives and stuff, but that's not an option for me. Mm. Yeah.
So you're supposed to go into your fourth year.
Yes.
How did you get through the first 3 years?
I was lucky enough to have a bursary, but then they did stop funding me for last year actually, and this year as well.
How did you survive then from last year when the funding stopped?
The grace of God, honestly. Just my parents keep trying to make little plans to send little money, you know, but throughout the year, throughout last year, I knew that by the end of the year, I'm going to have issues because I haven't paid anything for this academic year.
How much do you owe?
Almost 200,000.
Oh, for just last year?
Yes, and a little bit of the year before.
So you had a bursary. Why did they stop funding you?
I can't tell you that for sure because they did cut communication with me. It was a private company, like a sponsor. Yeah. So they did say that we're not going to be able to fund you for the rest of your degree.
What about NSFAS and some of the other public funding initiatives? Have you tried those?
I've definitely I've applied for multiple bursaries with no avail. NSFAS says that I don't qualify, and also I've been trying the Department of Health because I am a medical student, but to no avail. Nothing is coming up or no one is able to help.
Does NSFAS say why you don't qualify? Is that based on the financial cap on who they can fund,
I honestly I have no idea, but I just know that every time I try to apply for NSFAS, I get a response that your application was unsuccessful. Yeah.
And you said the other issue with you is that transport is an issue. You're quite far from campus.
Yeah.
How far is that?
I'm thinking maybe 45 minutes.
Where do you stay currently?
Further, like Alberton, almost down.
Oh, my goodness. So you would have to commute from Alberton all the way into the Joburg CBD.
Yes. So we tried to do public transport, but also there's no cash for me to use the public transport. So that's why, yeah.
And the Wits bus, does it get that far?
No, it doesn't. The Wits buses are mostly in between campuses and also to the hospitals for medical students, yeah.
So as things stand, you're not able to register because you owe the university upward of 200,000 Rand for 2022 and a bit of 2021.
Yes.
If you are unable to register this year, what would that mean for you and your life?
That would probably mean me having to take a gap year and try to find the funds somehow, which is also why we're also here today, so that I could speak and say if anyone is able to sponsor or to come forward and to help me out of this current situation that I'm in, it would be greatly appreciated. Because the truth is that I just want to go to school. I've been a student most of my life, and school is all I know, and there's nothing I love more than medicine, because I worked really hard to get into this degree, and all I want to do is study so that I can be able to help people.
I mean, to get into medicine, first of all, you would have had to have incredible results just to get your foot through the door. How frustrating is that realization that you can be, from matric, a top-performing student, you do well enough to get into med school, no less, and you study for 3 years, and then going into year 4, there's this major threat of a disruption, basically.
Do you know what? I must mention that I wasn't even able to get in from matric. I had to do an undergrad first, and I still wasn't successful after that. Then I had to do my honors, and then only after that. So I've dedicated 4 years of trying to get into medicine, and then now I'm here, and then just a block. Yeah, it's very hurtful. It's heartbreaking, honestly. Because it's standing in the way of my passion.
And your parents? How are they feeling?
Do you know, I think they try to be strong for me, you know, but I can see that they are extremely stressed, and all they want is for their child to go to school. Yeah.
And you mentioned possibly having to work, take a gap year work.
Yeah.
Is that something that you are now looking into seriously, or just a thought that's crossed your mind?
It's just a thought. I still have my hopes, and I believe that something will come through.
Are you an only sibling, Mabu?
No, I have 6 other siblings. There's 6 of us in total, actually.
Younger, older?
Half and half. There's 2 older that don't live with us. Then I have, there's 3 older. 2 don't live with us, my older sister, and then I have...
ones.
And then there's 2 younger ones, yeah.
And I'd imagine what is most frightening with your situation is that, like with many of us, if you are studying at varsity, there's also an expectation, fair, unfair, that once you are in employment, you would be able to help the younger 2, in your case, sort of come up.
Yeah, definitely. And that's not even a horrible expectation. That's something I want to do because for my younger brother, I don't want him to ever be in this situation. And that's why I want to finish. I want to be able to make sure that he gets through varsity without these hurdles that I'm facing right now.
And I was looking, someone was telling me, one of our producers was actually telling us that you at some point made it to the dean's list. Am I right?
Oh, I did in my 3rd year of my undergrad, yes.
And again, I'm going back to this point. It talks to the inequality of higher education, because an expectation has been created by some, even in the media, that many of the students who are protesting are largely people who aren't performing academically and want a free ride. But here you are, you've been on the dean's list, yet your future is uncertain.
Exactly. And that number of saying that the people, poor performing students, are the ones that are on strike and stuff like that, that's not true. I don't feel like it's true, because I feel like the number of us that perform better far outweigh those that are poorly performing. Yeah. And
how has the issue around fees affected your ability to study at your best?
Honestly, I think even if you look at my marks from last year, that concern of always thinking about at the end of the year, if nothing shows up, I'm going to have trouble registering in 2023. I think that even shows in my results from last year. Like, I did perform the best I could, but I know inside that I could have done better had I not had that thought of finances at the back of my mind.
What do you think would be the solution?
If the school could allow the students to register, the ones that are qualified to register, the ones that are well-performing, which is what they want. I'm thinking even the ones that receive hardship fund from the SRC, because I know I received hardship fund, but it still wasn't enough to cover my fees. And it's just like, if I'm able to qualify for hardship, doesn't that mean I don't have the funds to cover the rest of it? I should be allowed to register. It only makes sense.
So allow students to register who, as you're saying, academically are already doing well, already in the system. I mean, you're about to do your 4th year. You're almost at the end.
Almost.
Do you think this should allow students like yourself to study right off the debt, or do you think that what should happen is that you all pay it off at the end of, not at the end of a degree because you won't have a job then, but when you start working?
I think that's a reasonable expectation. I personally wouldn't mind that if it means that I get an opportunity to finish my studies, and if that means that at the end I'll have to pay the university back, then that's how it is.
There's going to be a meeting tonight between the SRC and students. Have you been taking part in the student protest?
I haven't been able to. Haven't been able to get to campus for the marches, no.
But is it action that you support?
No, definitely, because I stand to benefit from what the SRC is asking for.
Mabu Molapo, all the best.
Thank
Let's
you
hope
so
it all
much.
works out in your favor. Thank you.